This is it. This is episode 555.
That's lucky.
Yes, I'm actually meant to look up and see if that was like has some really crazy meaning or something.
There's angel numbers.
Angel numbers.
Angel numbers are anything that's consecutive or all the same.
Oh, is that why 666?
I could look it up. Well, 666 is the devil number. That's the only one that's not good.
Uh-oh. That is the voice. If you're not watching on YouTube, that's the voice of Erica Rhodes. This is No Laugh Track Podcast. I'm Justin Severson, and we're recording a podcast here. Erica's Googling something, and...
well, I'm looking up 555.
555.
Change, good luck, transformation, freedom, and personal growth.
I'll take it. Is it for you or me or both?
Both.
Both? Since
Yeah.
we're both here?
This is number 555 for both of us.
I love it. I accept then.
Great.
I accept. So it is the middle of July here. You are in past your first day of back headlining, and was it a special night last night at Acme? Yes, and that is an understatement. So before we started recording, I almost started gushing about what the incredible night I had, but I didn't want. I wanted to tell you fresh in front of the cameras on the mic.
Yeah.
It was almost. I don't have the words. It was almost magical seeing the show last night. Someone that was born and raised in Minnesota and got to come to Acme, but I've been to, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times and been, doing a podcast here for all these years. And seeing your uncle, Garrison Keillor, on the stage at Acme, hosting, we could say, opening for his niece, Erica Rhodes, who just alone puts on an amazing show.
Aww.
Incredible.
Thank you. It was really special for me, too, because, first of all, Garrison wanted to do it. He was like, I think I should open for you. And I was like, I don't think you should open for me. And he goes, yeah, I'll open for you. And I was like, okay. And I was like, we'll try it. We'll see how it goes, And he's never performed in a comedy club. That was his first comedy club ever, because he's always done theaters. So
yeah. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, I was wondering, would he, because he's been paid as a performer, he wouldn't qualify for the funniest person contest? Correct, Brandon? Like he couldn't. There's still not time to enter. He's disqualified. Correct.
I just realized we should probably pay him, right? It's gonna be funny to be like, hey, Garrison, here's your $50 check.
Was he offered some chicken wings or the Johnny Bravo sandwich that I like to get off the menu?
He was offered. He didn't take anything. And Brandon told me that he sat with him because Garrison got here before I did. And Garrison asked if the opener bombs, do you guys give refunds? And Brandon said, well, it doesn't really matter because you're just the opener. and Garrison goes, I'm just the opener?
A man who has performed everywhere.
For millions of people for years and years.
Decades.
And he's like, yeah, you're just the opener.
Who just did, how many shows did he do over the weekend at the Fitzgerald?
Yeah, he just did the Fitzgerald all weekend. I don't know. You think he did 5 shows?
Everyone sold out.
Everything sold out.
And then he's at Acme on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think he doesn't care. I think he actually really liked doing a small crowd. He's like, I think I want to do more of these. He really enjoyed it. So maybe he'll do a tour of clubs. Who knows?
He mentioned on stage that it was he's got some shows later this year.
Yeah, he never retires. He's always like, I'm going to retire this year, and then it's like he never does.
So my wife and I were here last night. On the way home, this was me. Wow. Just seriously, wow.
Oh.
I'm like, honey, I can't even believe that happened.
Oh.
Wow. I think I've told you, and I'll say it real quickly here that, I grew up in a house where a Prairie Home Companion, Garrison Keillor show was on every Saturday night.
Yes.
I'm old enough that my dad used to record, and he would do it literally with a radio and a separate cassette recorder where you have to be quiet. If I entered the room and talked, then my voice would be on that recording of a Prairie Home
Wow.
Companion.
Yeah, I remember those days.
He's like, shh, Dad's recording. Dad's recording. You have to be quiet. Yes.
Oh.
And I remember my parents going to shows occasionally growing up, and I think I even might have gone to one. But in any case, just so amazing to see him here at the club that I love. And
yeah, I'm so glad that you got to be there, and I'm glad it was so special because I think I sometimes take it for granted because I grew up doing the show.
yeah.
And I get to see him all the time. So
When was the last time the two of you were on a stage together?
I actually did a show recently, maybe 6 months ago. He did a 50th show in Florida.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I did my stand up pretty much.
Oh, awesome.
So he likes doing my stand up as dialogue, so like I'll tell him a joke as if it's dialogue and then he'll kind of respond, but it's basically me doing my act.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I did that.
It was so magical. I don't know if people will be able to see that again, but
It was a one-time. It might have been a one-time thing. I mean, we talked about him doing other shows, but this week he has to, go on the road, so that was just Wednesday. But the show's still going to be fun.
Absolutely, and your show is fantastic.
Oh,
as I always
good.
say, and last night it was as good as ever.
Aw.
And as I often say, I leave shows as soon as they end to try to beat the crowd out of here. Well, now I find out right before we start recording that Uncle Garrison Keillor hung out after the show.
Yeah, he hung out.
I
talked.
possibly could have met him.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
We had extra time. We had a babysitter. We were in no hurry.
You're just in a habit of you got to get out, break your habits,
Son of a gun.
I'm sorry.
I have another really weird connection to Uncle Garrison Keillor here, and that is I sell stuff on eBay sometimes to try to make a little extra money. An honest living.
Yeah.
And I recently sold a coffee mug that I found at a thrift store, I believe, that was connected to Lake Wobegon or Prairie Home Companion. And someone
Wow.
purchased it. And then I put it in the mail. A few weeks later, I got a message saying, "Are you going to send it or what?" And I'm like, whoa.
No, it got
What's
lost?
going on here? It got lost.
Oh, no.
It got lost. So I had to message this person and apologize. And then she goes, "Boy, I really hope you find it because it was a anniversary gift for my husband, and he was really looking forward to it." So,
Oh, my God. That's so sad.
oh, like, I didn't do this on purpose.
You'll have to find another one. I'm sure there's another one out there.
Could you ask Uncle Garrett?
Okay. Well, I don't even know if he has Yeah, I'll ask him.
He doesn't have a storage locker with all of his promotional items? I'm sure he doesn't, but that was $20 I'm out. I had to refund these people's $20. But look at the
Wow.
demand, $20 for an old mug.
Yeah, I bet
Huh?
I bet it looks cool, too. The logo's nice.
It was for the Chatterbox Cafe.
Oh, very specific mug.
Very specific. So there you
Probably
go.
is a collector's item.
Yes, it is. So, well, we had to talk about that because that was absolutely
Yes,
amazing. I
I'm
never
glad you
thought
were there.
I would see that happen here at Acme.
Aw.
Probably never will again, but holy cow, that was so cool.
I'm
Thank
so
you for
glad. I'm
making
so
that
glad the
happen.
people who were here had a really good time too.
Yes. And then, of course, I posted about it on social media, and everybody's like, "I'm so jealous," or "My parents have been so jealous. I'm so jealous." Like, yeah, we all missed out. Yeah, a lot of
I
people
promoted
missed out.
on my social media, but I guess it just didn't catch on enough.
Not
I don't
enough,
know.
Apparently. So, leading up to, I've known for a little while that you were going to be coming back to Acme to do your headlining week, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw some things that you've been doing out there, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have so much to talk about. She's got an article in the Wall Street Journal.
Oh yeah, I know.
She's on AGT. What? So much stuff. So let's start with wait, which one came first, AGT or Wall Street?
Actually, the Wall Street Journal came first.
Okay.
The writer, Mark Myers, who does the house call section, reached out to me directly, and he just found my comedy on Instagram and just became a fan. And he said he wanted to feature me in it. And I was really flattered because my mom used to send me the Wall Street Journal, and I would just kind of peruse it. And then it started piling up because I was out of town. And I was like, "Mom, can you stop sending it to me?" But she kept sending it to me. And so I'd always start with the house call section because to me that was my favorite section. And then I never thought I'd be in it. And even when I was in it, my mom said, "This is very funny to me because anytime I've read that section, I thought, well, Erica's never going to be in it because she doesn't have a house."
Well. Jeez.
Yeah. So that was, and then in the article, I talked about how my mom gives compliments.
Yes.
You know, she gives a compliment with a slight dig at the end of it.
Yes.
So then it was, you know, even more ironic. And then it was even more ironic because my joke that I did on AGT was about looking at the mansion section.
Yes.
Which that house calls in the mansion section. So
I mean,
that,
you can't make that up. It's
I
crazy.
know, it's kind of weird, the timing.
Really
Those
weird.
two things.
So do you have, how many copies of the Wall Street Journal did you buy?
I just bought one.
Just bought one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it, and my mom, I think, bought one. Yeah, when I had a feature once in LA Times, and I bought like 7, and I still have them, and I'm like, why did I take 7 of these? Who am I going to give these to? I just have them in a pile. So
I think I still have a newspaper, like a local neighborhood paper in St. Paul, from when I was a kid, where we got to interview like the principals of the schools.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know, but I felt like a year or so ago, I stumbled upon it looking through my old junk, and was like, these questions are they're ridiculous. Anybody could have done this. These are just so
I'm
plain.
sure not. I'm sure you had a knack for it.
No. Oh God, no.
No?
No. They were pretty basic. They were very basic, but it's funny to think that actually happened. One of the other things that was mentioned in that Wall Street Journal article was at the start of your like acting career, modeling, and you did a commercial for a waterbed.
That was my first gig.
How does a kid sell waterbeds?
Well,
can't
it
even
was just
picture
for
that.
a print newspaper magazine, and I was just in on the waterbed and just asleep. I had to fake being asleep.
Oh, you faked sleep.
I faked sleep. I have a joke in one of my blogs where I was like, you can't fake sleep your way to the top, because I'm really good at fake sleeping. But yeah, so I was just in the bed, and all the people I remember them like taking pictures from ahead and being, oh, she's so cute. Oh, she's so cute. And I thought, oh, this is showbiz. Like, sign me up. And then, that was the easiest job I've ever had.
No, was this like one of those things where they have, they'll do like a cereal commercial, but it's not really milk. It's it's like Elmer's glue or something.
No, it was
Were
a
you
real.
really
It
on
was
a waterbed?
Oh,
and they
it
had
was
to be
a.
like, Erica, no
I
moving.
have a real clear memory of what it felt like. It
Because
was.
waterbeds are like,
But I was little. I was like, I don't know how big a 5-year-old is, but I probably weighed like 40 pounds.
That's true. The ripple.
I was just like, yeah, it was just fun. It was cool. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and yeah, it was comfortable.
Have you ever owned a waterbed?
No.
No.
Have
Have
you?
Have you ever met a guy that had one?
No, I actually haven't. I think it was a very 80s thing.
Yeah.
I think it kind of aged out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very cool in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. My buddy had one, and we thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, really cool. But I would imagine if there's any damage, it's just a catastrophe.
Yeah, right? But they're also kind of got to be known as, like, sleazy.
That, too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now technology is so advanced. They've got massage beds and beds that go up and down, like all sorts of things. So you don't really need a water bed now.
That's true. It'd be tough to do the posturepedic or whatever. The bed
Oh yeah,
will, like, lift up.
orthopedic one. Yeah.
That might be tough if it's filled with water.
I remember one time I went shopping for beds, and the guy wouldn't even let me try the orthopedic, the like fancy, like the really expensive beds where it's like, I don't know if it's orthopedic, but it's like you just like melt into the bed.
Sure.
He wouldn't even let me try it because I think he knew I couldn't afford it. He's like, no, you don't need to try that one.
Here,
I think he knew I'd like it, and that I wouldn't be able to afford it, and he didn't want to see me sad. So he's like, no, don't. Those aren't for you.
Miss, I can't cut you a good enough deal to
Yeah,
keep you in this
exactly.
bed. I'm sorry. We have this wonderful one over here. It's more like a
It's like
laying on a pile of rocks. It's more your style.
Yeah.
It's actually more your style. So tell me about AGT. First, I want to know, is this the first time you tried to get on there? I don't really know how this works.
Yeah, well, it's weird because like a couple of years ago they asked me to do it, and then there were so many like things I needed to submit, so I kind of just let it go. I was like, I don't know, I just didn't want to do all the getting a tape in advance and figuring out my set and everything. And then Mark Saratella, who's a friend in LA, he's a comic. He was booking a show at the Ice House that was an AGT showcase. And there were like,
perfect.
I don't know, 60 comics on them. And so, I was like, oh, it's just, I thought like AGT might be there. I didn't think it was like an official AGT audition. And so I went, and then on my drive there, I was like, I better think of like a TV set. You know, I was just going to wing it and just kind of just do a normal set. And I was like, I should probably I should put some thought into this. And so while I was driving, while I was driving there, I like kind of figured out a 5-minute, or it was like a 3-minute solid set. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I was like, I forget how to do 3 minutes. Like, it's been a long time doing a short set. And then like I kind of ran it a couple times. And then I got up and had a really good set. And then they told me I was on the wait list, and then they told me I was on it. So it just kind of like was like, you know.
How long ago was that?
So we taped it in April, I think. And then I think March maybe was when we did that showcase.
Oh, okay. So there's not really a ton of time between.
It might have been February, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was the end of February.
It's moving pretty quick then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you get past, and then they say, all right, you're on the show. We're going to set a date, and you have to show up in L.A.?
Yeah, I was in Pasadena.
Okay.
It was actually we taped it on my birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you tell the judges that beforehand?
No. It was kind of, this is funny and kind of embarrassing, but I told my producer that it was my birthday. And after they were like getting all this, they were getting shots of me like on the stairs or like, you know, preparing to go up and stuff. They're like, okay, come over here. Like, we're going to get a shot. And I was like, maybe they're going to give me a cupcake. Maybe they're taking, like, I was like a 5-year-old all of a sudden, like maybe maybe they're like planning a surprise, and then it never happened. They really were just doing pickups. I was like, and now the judges are going to be around the corner and they're going to sing happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Simon's going to ready and sing.
None of that happened.
Hilarious.
But I was happy I had a good set on my birthday. You know.
So is there you go to that you show up for the recording. Is there a rehearsal?
No, you just go out. And
really?
I mean, it's a live audience. So that one's taped ahead of time. Then the next one is not taped ahead of time. It's live.
Gotcha.
If I'm doing it, I don't know yet.
Sure.
But like that, so that first round is in front of a live audience, and then they film it, and then they can edit it, you know, after. I'm
curious, what type of acts were backstage with you that are like the complete, like have nothing to do with what you do? They're just like, how are we even in the same room?
Everybody was doing crazy acrobatics. Some girl was on a unicycle with her boyfriend, and she was like balancing on his shoulders. On his shoulder. No, Justin, this is a family show, okay? So,
AGT After Dark.
Yeah, that would be a good follow up.
Yep.
Yeah, so they were like, on unicycles. There was like the ballet dancer who was like balancing on the. She was like balancing on the bottles. She was she was like practicing for her set, for her thing. And then there were like lots of groups of kids like doing backflips and all sorts of things. Sure. I mean, and I was just sort of sitting there in a chair. You know, comics are so boring. We just sit there and like watch everything.
Just looking at your phone or your notebook.
I just kind of sat there like, wow, people are so talented. And I just like running my jokes like this is going to be weird, but okay.
And then I'm always curious, like, you know, these judges are celebrities. Like, are you getting any chance to meet them or talk to them? Or
just on stage?
That's it.
I think some people met them before, and Terry Crews gave us a nice, like, inspirational speech.
Okay.
And that was actually, it was helpful to me because he was like reminding us to be in the moment, which often I'm not like that. I'm like thinking about the next thing or the thing before.
Sure.
So that was a good reminder. But yeah, and I've met Howie before, like, but just very briefly in passing, you know, like at shows before, but it's very much just like, hello, you know. But I don't know him that well. So,
okay. I saw he gave you a nice mention. Oh, Erica Rhodes is brilliant, he tweeted at one point.
Yeah. And his comments on the show were really nice. Like, I felt like he could tell I put in the work, so that meant a lot to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got to be wonderful to hear that from
somebody
who does like, the same thing as you.
Yeah, when he was like, I could tell you've been doing the road, like that, you know, to comics, that's a huge compliment.
Yes, absolutely. Sofia Vergara, I saw headlines that said that you are her favorite comedian on the show ever.
Yeah, that was I know, and they're building a lot of great comedians, so that was really nice.
That's really cool.
And she's hilarious. I've always been a fan of her on Modern Family.
Can you contact her and leave her a ticket for the shows here this weekend at Acme?
Actually, my opener tonight is another special guest.
Rhymes with
Ophia Vergara.
Or not. We're not, yeah. Yeah. Last time you were here was April of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little over a year ago, and we recorded that week as well. And you mentioned when you were here that you were recording your next album that week here at Acme. And now it exists.
Yes.
It's out there.
Oh, wait. Are you saying I hadn't recorded? Wait. Oh, I was recording my album?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was my last week here.
Brandon.
I forgot that that's when I recorded Ladybug.
Erica, what else do you want to know about you that I know that you have forgotten?
I have a very short attention span with my past, I guess.
I must be digging too deep.
What
too
did
far
I
back.
do yesterday?
I know. Should we just talk about yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday I knew.
We'll start back from, Saturday. Last Saturday, last Sunday.
No, I remember now because on the podcast I said I don't know what I'm doing yet. I was like, I'm going to figure it out by the end. And sure enough, my album was Saturday.
Oh, it was?
It was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And it took me Wednesday through Saturday to figure it out.
Okay.
You know, I didn't have the order yet. I had a couple jokes that were not figured out. I had a callback that I put in at the last second at the end.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Did you have a hand in all the editing? Like, did you listen back to your own jokes 1 million times?
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that for you?
It's brutal. It took me a while to even listen. I really hate listening to myself, but yeah, I took out some pauses and like little things like that.
Okay.
Or like some you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly it's pretty much just it's similar to Sad Lemon in that it's a pretty authentic cut. It's just one show. I don't think I took anything from any other show.
Which does happen a lot.
Yeah, it does happen a lot where people pick this part and this part. But the pacing and the audience reaction I think it was very clear that was the best one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's, is there a physical copy of that, or is it just online?
I've been really bad about I think it's just online right now, but I should get physical copies.
I know I saw it I've seen it on streaming services.
Yeah, it's on all the streamings, but I should probably get a physical.
I mean.
I need to sell merch. Do you know I've never sold merch?
So earlier in the last couple of days, saw a picture of you with posters from the special.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I take that back. I don't know why I have to knock on wood because
and I'm a guy who loves collecting those. So I was
really?
She had those here right now.
Oh my gosh. So my friend Jess, who's like really talented, Jess Montez, she used to work with Kyle Dunnigan and she produces stuff and she's a really talented graphic artist. So she made those posters just for my release of my album.
Yeah.
And I sold them at my album release, and I actually still have a couple.
Son of a gun.
And I didn't bring them, but because it has the date of the album release on it.
So what?
Yeah, I could get more but I want to sell something that's easy to transport, so I'll get like maybe little pins or something.
Here's what quickly I'll say that the posters, how a lot of people do them is they just have them printed in the city that they're doing shows in. Like, let's say you're coming to Minneapolis, have 50 printed up locally, and then you're not traveling with them.
Oh.
Boom. And I just opened a printing company. No, I'm kidding. I have nothing to do with this.
I wish they would do that with T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, like you could print it. You could just have them in each place.
Right, because those are a pain.
Those
to
are annoying to travel.
With, I am sure. I want to hear about another thing that you mentioned last time you were here is that you were going to go do shows in Israel.
Yes, and I did.
Wow.
Yes,
How did that go?
It was amazing. I'm very grateful I went when I did. And
you didn't solve any peace. You didn't bring peace.
I mean, back then I was the most suspicious person there because I was held up at the TSA for like an hour before I left.
Oh.
I was questioned at the airport for like an hour.
Uh-oh.
It felt like a podcast. Because they wanted to prove that I was a comedian. So I had to keep showing them, like they were like, how do you come up with your material? How do you have a manager? How do you book your shows? Can we hear some of your jokes? Did you write any jokes specifically for these shows? What jokes did you write? Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. It was like a podcast.
Were you worried you were answering this incorrectly? Like,
I started getting, the first 5 minutes I was like, this is normal. And then it went on to like, I'm not kidding, like 30 minutes. And I was like, I started to ask, is there something wrong that I did?
Yeah.
You know, and no. And then I found out, I think the woman was in training and she just thought it was like, they picked me because it wasn't boring. It was just kind of interesting. I'm in training and it's just kind of interesting to hear a comedian because we don't meet a lot of them. And so,
what?
So by the end, I was like, I think I just did a podcast.
Yeah, you should send them a
At
bill
security.
for your time.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, I had to show them a lot. I had to show them my
Were you
whole.
like, here's my TikTok and I have followers?
I had to show them press that I had, gotten. I had to show them. I played them a couple jokes I wrote for the shows
Holy
from
crap.
My voice memos.
And this was coming back.
It was coming back because you're still going in the plane. They're still suspicious, I guess. But also, I made a mistake because they said, have you been anywhere outside of where you were for the tour? And I said, yeah, I went to Jericho. And so they were like, why did you go to Jericho? I was like, the hummus. It's supposed to be really good. And they were like, can we see pictures from Jericho? So I started showing them pictures from Jericho and all this stuff. Found out I didn't go to Jericho. I went to Jaffa. Jericho's in Palestine.
Oh,
So they thought I
they were
went-
immediately suspicious.
Yeah, so they thought I went to Palestine and for the hummus, and instead I went to Jaffa, and I. But this is a funny story. I don't know why I took. It was dumb. It was probably like just like a dumb whatever selfie in a towel, and that somehow they were like, okay, we don't need to see anymore. And I was like, okay, because it was like a dumb selfie, and they thought it was probably really inappropriate. So so they're like, we don't need to see anymore. And then that got me out of questioning.
Holy cow! How was the hummus, by the way?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If you ever get to go to Jaffa, the
We're
hummus
thinking about it.
is insanely good. Like the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
this little shop on the side, and this old lady. There were no seats. I was with my friend Dana Doot. I don't know if you know him, but he's a really funny comedian.
Oh,
You know him, Dana Doot? Has he been here?
I saw him open
He's-
for Jessica Kearson. No, not Jessica
No.
Kearson. Nope, somebody else.
Does he open still?
No.
He was on Cobra Kai.
Yeah, he was on the kids show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
he
my
was
daughter watched.
Falafel Phil.
Falafel Phil.
Yeah,
Yes, I know
yeah.
who Falafel
So
Phil
he's
is.
a good friend, and we went to Israel together, and we went on a lot of adventures together. So I think we went to the hummus place together at some point, and then there was this old lady, and there were no empty seats, and she gave us her seat. She's like, "You have to sit down. This is the best hummus," and it sure enough was. So
How were you did shows, obviously.
Yeah.
And then how were those?
they were good. We had to censor a little bit, so that's always a little tricky when you can't say certain things. And I also found out, I was kind of like, I didn't realize that, I have jokes about my dad being cremated,
Yeah.
and they don't, and when they found out, because they were, they're very strict there about their religion,
Yeah.
and so when they found out that I cremated my dad, who was Jewish, some of the women were like, "You didn't really cremate your father, did you?" And I was like, I didn't know that. I forgot that was a rule. So then I stopped doing that joke a little bit.
I bet.
Yeah. Because and they did this thing where they would ask, which person on your family side is Jewish? And when they found out it was my dad, then they were like, okay. And then but Dan, they were like, I have a daughter to introduce you to. And I have, I know so many women who, but they would just ask me, they'd be like, oh, your dad's the Jewish one? Okay, never mind.
Amazing.
So yeah, I didn't find a husband there.
No.
Though there was a cute restaurant manager I met.
Oh.
Yeah, he was very cute.
Well.
Yeah.
Maybe next trip.
Yeah,
Maybe
next trip.
Now that you know what not to say, apparently.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What not to say. What time is it? Oh, boy, we should wrap this up in just a minute or
And
two
I
here.
swam in the Dead Sea, which was amazing.
What's the...
The Dead Sea, where you
I
float.
was going to say, what's the float, right? Yeah. 'Cause
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there's so much salt that you float.
Yes.
And you found that to be true?
Yes.
Okay.
There were these two guys in there who were like, it's. I don't want to sound like I'm profiling, but they happened to be Arab guys, and they were like, they were like trying to get a picture with me, and I was there alone, just floating, And they were like, picture, and I was like, okay, So I'm taking a selfie. Then their arms like around my shoulder, another one, and then they're kind of like grabby,
Oh, no.
And meanwhile, Avi Lieberman, who runs the shows, was was like hailing, like, Erica, come up. And so he forced me out, and he's like, don't, those guys are going to get bad. Like, they're going to get really grabby. And meanwhile, then I learned that Dan had said, oh, she's fine. She's fine. And obviously, I don't think she's fine.
They misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
As something else. Wow.
Anyway, maybe edit that part out.
Ah! No, stop. We don't need that. Michael Ian Black. I saw a tweet that he put out, and I'm going to read this right now. Go see Erica in Minnesota before she wins AGT, and you have to go to Branson or some shit to see her.
Oh, that's so nice. He's such a great guy.
A compliment to you and a rip on Branson. All in one tweet. Yeah. I opened for him once in Irvine and lost my car in the parking lot, and he drove me around for an hour to try to find my car. Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
He's a good one.
I saw recently you opened for, you worked with Dane Cook?
Yeah, I opened for him at the Netflix is a Joke show, so that was fun. It was just one show, but it was really fun.
Cool.
And then I've been opening for Jim Norton a lot too.
I saw that.
Yeah, yes. he's really fun, and really he's such a good. I mean, his act is like insane. It's so
he was
good.
here. What, maybe 3 years ago or so? 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
He did some shows here.
Yeah, I think he's mostly doing theaters now.
Oh, I think this was practice for these theater shows.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
but he's great.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really, really fun. Dumb random question that I think I've asked you before. Do you still play any cello?
I do, but I have a string that's been broken for about a year, and I haven't bothered. I've been so busy that I haven't fixed it, so I have to take it in.
You can't do that yourself.
I always pop strings when I try to change them myself. I'm just not good at it. Like the thing on the cello, like I get nervous and then it pops. So I just take it in to get them changed.
You take it in, get it changed.
Yeah, so that's what I need to do.
Okay.
But I'll play again.
You will play again.
I shall play again.
I mean, depending on how this, if you continue to be on America's Got Talent, if that doesn't go as well as you'd like, maybe you come back as a.
I don't think I'll ever go back to cello. It's not really a good fallback position. Though my mother would be very happy. I think she wishes I went into one of the high arts.
Right. So finally, we got, let's see, 5. As we're recording this, 5 more shows here at Acme this week. And then anything else coming up this year that we should be talking about?
I'm just touring a lot. So look at my website, ericarhodescomedy.com, because I have a pretty full calendar now, which is exciting.
Awesome.
So I'm on the road like almost every weekend. So just come see me live. That's when I like to perform.
Do you have is there any plans of recording a special?
I would like to do it. I haven't figured out who's going to do it yet. Okay. So it's in the, I'd say I'm ready to do it because I want to do half material that's probably on my album, like all the dad stuff I'd like to put on camera.
Yeah.
And then half new stuff, which I think you saw a bunch of new stuff last night.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep, I recognized the new, and then I was like, "Oh, I've heard this one before, but they're great." The
good.
Ones you're doing again
So you didn't.
fantastic.
It wasn't boring when it went into the old stuff.
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm gonna tell you this real quickly.
Okay.
So and also because you brought up.
Yeah.
You carry around Dad.
Yeah.
And you have a joke where you talk about, my dad's here tonight.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that joke. You and I have talked about it, and yet you said that last night, and I looked around the room for a second.
Wow.
Totally caught me off guard. I'm like, yeah, which one? He's not here.
That's awesome.
Yes.
See, if I could trick people when they've already heard it.
Yes, and I said it to my wife, and she knows the joke too, and she was like, same.
Wow.
Yes. So we're either really stupid or we just get so caught up in the moment that we're not even like.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, 100% true.
Oh, wow.
So there you
okay,
go.
so I can keep doing some old jokes because I haven't written I've written about, I think, like maybe 20 new minutes, but since last year.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get a new hour in the next year.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
it's good stuff, so.
Oh, thanks.
I wouldn't worry if I was you.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for doing this.
Thanks, Justin. It's always good to see you.
Thank you. If you, you're on a great streak of doing a week every year at Acme for 4 or 5 years now.
I
so
know.
Let's keep that going.
Yes.
And if for some reason Let's see. He's 81 now. If 82-year-old Garrison Keillor wants to come and do another guest set,
I bet he would come back.
I want to be here for it.
Okay, and stay after this time.
I'm going to show up early and stay late. So, thank you.
All right, thanks, Justin.